I have a script up.
I
Oh,
also
thanks.
have my
Did you
script.
name it this time? Because I forgot to actually pick a name
I
for the episode.
did.
Good.
I think it works, right?
Hmm. I always try to pick like a meaningful quote or something, and then I totally forgot because the different choices and choice outcomes made it really hard for me to write the script this week because I was trying to not summarize as much as possible. But then I also
Yeah.
had to because you don't know the story and like maybe someone doesn't know. So I just tried to summarize it with a focus on their relationship. I did the best I could. It was hard. I was like, this is gonna be easy. It's such a short game. No, I think it's one of my longer scripts actually, or at least it
Uh,
was before you deleted all the quotes from the clips.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, now
18
it's normal.
pages. Yeah, 18 is normal.
Yeah, I think I looked at it the other like earlier and it was like 26 pages or something. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah, pre-clip time that 26 is about right.
the clips are long. I couldn't help it either. They were longer before too. I was like, okay, what are the absolutely essential pieces of dialogue? I can't have all of this. Like, we can't just sit here and listen to 3 minutes straight of shit, you
Right.
know?
There's that, and then like I'm surprised that we've never gotten in trouble for anything.
Because it's fair use. I looked this up before we
Yeah.
ever started our podcast. You know who I'm surprised that doesn't get in trouble are like people who insert funny clips of things. Like in their videos, they'll make a reference to something and then play the clip of the reference. And
Mm,
they don't cite the video or anything. And or like Cinema Therapy does this all the time. Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, like I see all these big YouTubers do it. Or I've seen like in the a lot of the videos that I watch for research or something, people will like just play soundtrack music in the background while they're talking. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. Like, you're not discussing the audio, which is the fair use legal definition, which is why I feel like we could never get in trouble because we're playing the audio clips to then talk about them, which is the fair use policy.
right.
But like,
And we're not
people just
claiming
straight up
that.
use it.
Yeah,
Like,
we're not claiming like, oh yeah, I made this thing. No.
yeah. Yeah. I was like, half the time we mentioned the studio that did it, but at least the name of the game, and we're never like, "We made this game, guys. It's our game."
Right.
Are we live already?
Mhm.
Oh, sweet. Hi, everybody. Let me mute so I can cough.
Nobody's here yet.
That's because 'cause they're like, "Oh, they're gonna start at, like, 10 minutes past when they're supposed to start."
Right.
They're not gonna start on time or early. We don't have to be there early. My sister said she would come tonight. Last week, she was doing something. She told me about this goose game called Untitled Goose Game. Have you heard about it?
It's so old.
Oh, okay. I never heard about it. I'm just live under a rock. But yeah, she sent me the trailer and I was like,
It's
hilarious.
it's stupidly funny and hilarious.
Oops. Oh, Mare Bear.
Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I
Me
hope
too.
tonight. Yeah. Let's try to not tangent too much tonight.
Okay.
Because I want to go to
That's,
bed.
me too. I'm just don't feel good. I feel okay now, but like I've just been rough.
Hi,
Hello, my
Dolphin.
sister is here. Let me see if I can get some Mare Bear purrs on the stream.
And Apollo is here.
Is that getting picked up at
That
all?
sounds weird.
Oh, how is the sound weird? Was it just my cat purring?
I don't know. It sounded more
Of
like it.
course, I can sound weird. Yeah, because I do. I have whatever my kid has or her friends at school have at summer camp. So I sound shitty.
No, you sound sexy. You sound sultry, like you've been singing at a jazz bar filled with smoke.
Oh, Um, I was trying to remember the lyrics to Good Neighbor from Fallout 4, but I can't. I don't actually know that song. I guess I can hear it in my head, but I cannot say it. Little kids are germ factories.
Walk
It
out
doesn't help them.
into the fallout, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that one. I hate the Oh my God. Okay, I think this was in Fallout New Vegas, and I know it's a real song. I can't remember the name. I think it's like Peggy Lee is the name of the singer, where it's like, play the guitar, play it again, my Johnny. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. I hear that song and I hate it so much. I don't know why. It is so boring. So boring. I hate that song. There were some good songs in New Vegas. It was not that one though. I don't know. It's my husband's always listening to Fall Out playlists, and if that song comes on, I'm like, skip it now before I Hulk out. I don't know why. That song makes me mad.
Okay. All right. I got nothing. I haven't played New Vegas, so
Rather listening to nothing at all. I knew my sister would get it, but you know what song freaking slaps that my sister will immediately know if she's not already screaming it in her house right now? Is freaking Butcher Pete. The hey everybody, I've got a new guy in town. His name is Butcher Pete. Old Pete's in town. He's chopping up all the women's meat. Have you heard that song? Oh, he's
maybe
hacking and
which
whacking and smacking. It's so good.
is it
So good.
in Fallout 4?
It's in Fallout. I think it's in Fallout 3 originally.
Okay.
Yeah, hack, whack, chopping that meat. You need to look up Butcher Pete on Spotify. It is hilarious because it's like a euphemism for the guy like sleeping around with everyone's wives.
Hmm.
And but
Okay.
he's a butcher, which kind of is
I'm
weird,
like,
but
hold
that's a
on.
euphemism.
Oh, V is about 10 times louder than Jen.
Oh,
Cool. Okay. Let's change that
just
then.
back away. I don't need to be louder than Jen. Not with my voice like this either.
Yeah. Okay. And hello, Bat Night. Where are we at audio wise now? I still seem quiet. Okay. So if I increase my volume here, oh, as in I'm super quiet. Okay. So if I increase my volume there, did that change my mic quality at all? Did I sound different? Because earlier when I tried this, it sounded like I was okay. Am I louder though?
Is she louder than me? Or at least the same level? Am I still super loud? Should I whisper?
No. For
Okay.
some reason, it's just not weird. Your whisper is how loud. Oh, fuck. Okay. Um, yeah, no, that's
I'm so
the right
sorry.
microphone. Weird.
Is it time for V's ASMR video? Even, even though I absolutely can't stand ASMR.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to actively turn up the decibels on my microphone on here, and hopefully I am getting louder as this is happening. What's going on? I can't tell. Am I louder? I don't care about the ghost pack right now, guys. I need to know about my audio. Am I actually getting louder or is it not?
Like the haunted mansion where you think the room is
No. Fuck. What the
stretching.
hell?
Oh, God damn it. Okay, I'm back to whispering.
No, it's so weird. I cranked my microphone up to 250% on here. And
What
I
about
have
the
huh?
actual knobbies? Does
No, the
that do
knobbies
anything?
don't do anything.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I
No,
sound fine
so
now. Okay.
she's like, but I did it to 200. Why is it not working?
I have you at negative 3.8 decibels, and I have
Why
me
am I
overclocking at 8.
Why am I so
So
loud?
it's so weird. I don't know.
I'm I should not be this loud. Okay, at least it's fine. As we're hopefully we sound around the same volume level now. Daddy Bat Night for you who did not miss or you missed this part is I was like apparently really loud compared to Jen, and I don't need to be that loud.
Okay, and then I'll increase my decibels on here too, and hopefully that makes it all evil. Evil?
Ye-
That's not what I meant. Equal.
Excellent.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
All right.
Sounded so good. Okay. I
Okay.
don't know what GB cosplay suit is. I think I do, but I don't know what it is right now. Like I have forgotten.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay. Oh, Ghost Pack. Oh my God, for catching the ghosts. I get it now. Out of context, I just was like, there's so many things that could be. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Ghostbusters. See, and that's where we start. Okay. But why is mother of fuckery? I am just not happy. Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, I'm a little quiet on my Audacity, which is weird because it's also recording at 100% and shouldn't be doing anything stupid. I don't know why everything thinks that my microphone needs to be quiet tonight, but we'll roll with it. Okay. Are you ready to start recording? Oh,
Yep.
hey, let's record here too. Oops, not that one. Okay. Oh. Hmm. Okay, recording in Audacity, recording everywhere. Good to go. Oh, pull the script back up because that would be a good idea. Okay. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who really wants to take a nap today. I want nothing more than a nap.
I feel that. And I'm Bravada, the girl who probably sounds a bit different today because my child has infected me with whatever gross germs little kids have, and I've succumbed.
Uh,
I'm sorry,
My poor V.
but we'll get through
We'll get through it.
it.
And then you can take a nap, and I can take a nap, and the
I can
world
take
shall
a
become
sleep.
happy. It's true. Yes,
Let's take a
it'll be
sleep.
asleep. But if you are new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of fucking.
Or from the deep emotional connections built between two characters using specific in-game dialogue. So if you want to stay spoiler free, then this for sure is not the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, N7. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we'll assume you have some background knowledge of the gaming character in question, but we will be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar. And again, especially in this game.
Yeah. Today we are traveling back in time to 2015, when a small French studio called Don't Nod released 5 episodes of a game that is set in a fictitious little town named Arcadia Bay on the coast of Oregon. That game is called Life is Strange. And there are a few sequels and comics that expand the universe, and specifically the stories of the characters that we will cover today. But we will strictly be talking about events that occur in game. We are talking about the very complicated relationship between Max Caulfield and Chloe Price in Life is Strange.
Chloe, you're here. I'm back. Oh my lord, this is real. It's real. Oh man, this sucks.
Max, what's going on? You totally blacked out.
I didn't black out. I had another vision. The town is going to get wiped out by a tornado.
Oregon gets about 5 tornadoes every 20 years. You just zoned.
No, I saw it. I could actually feel the electricity in the air.
Come on, take a breath, okay?
Chloe, I'm not crazy. But there's something else I have to tell you. Something hardcore.
Talk to me, Max.
I had this same vision earlier in class. When I came out of it, I discovered I could reverse time. Like I said, not crazy.
But high, right?
Listen to me. How do you think I saved you in the bathroom?
By reversing time? Yeah, sure.
I saw you get shot, Chloe. Saw you actually die. I was able to go back and hit the fire alarm.
Okay, I see you're a geek now with a great imagination, but this isn't anime or a video game. People don't have those powers, Max.
I don't know what I have, but I have it. And I'm scared shitless.
You need to get high. It's been a hell insane fucking day. What the hell is this?
Snowflakes?
It's like 80 degrees. How?
Climate change. Or a storm is coming.
Max, start from the beginning. Tell me everything.
I also love that little fourth wall breaky line. This isn't a video game. That's cute. But this clip pretty much sums up a lot of essential context. But let me clarify some things. This clip technically plays at the very end of episode 1. And during episode 1, we discover that our playable character, Max, can suddenly rewind time. This magical ability was triggered when she witnessed a strange girl with blue hair get shot in a confrontation with Nathan Prescott, Blackwell Academy's Draco Malfoy. But take Draco and make him more deranged and a drug addict. Turns out that this blue-haired girl was her childhood best friend Chloe, and saving her also meant that the space-time continuum is now out of whack.
If you like moody hipsters, indie music, redwood trees, and solving mysteries, this game might be for you. If you will be triggered by mentions of self harm, childhood trauma, sexual assault, and homicide, my stupid voice, I'm so sorry, and homicide, this game is definitely not for you. Content warning for all of that as well for our episode, as we will be discussing those events that occur in the game. We're going to try really hard to not summarize the whole game for you, lovely listeners, but of course, we need to provide context for some environmental and narrative context for these characters. So, to start, let's get into Max and Chloe's origin story. The two girls grew up in Arcadia Bay and were often at each other's houses or in the woods, playing pirates and making up stories about who they would grow up to be. You know, doing things all little kids do with their imaginations in the great outdoors. That ended in 2008 when Max was 13 and Chloe was 14.
Chloe's dad, William, was killed in a car accident, and that was the day that forever changed Chloe. She was very, very close with her dad, and she went from being a constantly smiling and joyful child to withdrawn and depressed. Not long after that, Max and her family moved to Seattle. Max didn't really keep in touch with Chloe, especially after Chloe's mom, Joyce, remarried a man named David, who's essentially all the worst stereotypes about military veterans rolled into one. Chloe calls him the step douche, and that is a fitting nickname. In episode 1, Chrysalis, 5 years have passed since Max moved away, and the start of Life is Strange begins with Max attending Blackwell Academy, a prestigious private school with a great photography program. Max, like all true hipsters, has an inexplicable obsession with Polaroid photography.
Quiet here. Feels so weird to be back.
So I guess Seattle sucked hard?
I guess. It was cool, but I felt kind of lonely, out of my league.
I would think you'd fit right in with the art school hipsters.
Right. You look like the cover of hipstergirl.com.
At least you're still a smartass.
That's why I'm here.
Please, girl. You came back for Blackwell Academy.
Of course, it's one of the best photography programs in the country. And my favorite teacher, Mark Jefferson.
So you came back to Arcadia for a teacher, not your best friend.
Don't you think I'm happy to see you?
No. You were happy to wait 5 years without a call or even a text.
I wanted to. I was just so tripped out over leaving Arcadia.
Oh, please. I'm sure your phone and laptop were frozen in time.
You're merciless.
You've been at Blackwell for almost a month without letting me know. Enough said.
I just wanted to settle in first and not be such a shy, cliche geek. I totally would have contacted you.
I bet you don't use these sad excuses on Mr. Jefferson. Don't use them on me, Max.
Yeah. You know, this clip, I wanted it because Max just annoys the hell out of me in it. For being the player character, I kind of don't like Max that much. I am a firm Chloe fan. And one of my favorite things about Chloe is just how much of a good friend she is. Like in the first clip we played in the episode, she initially brushes off Max's wild claims to be able to rewind time because, duh, that sounds insane. But then believes her wholeheartedly and wants to listen. In this clip, she's not afraid to call out Max on her behavior, which is a very important skill to have, and especially to flex amongst your friends. You should keep them in check. It's responsible. It's what you do. While Max couldn't exactly not move to Seattle because she was a 13-year-old, she had to move with her family. But she 100% could have texted, called, emailed, hell, even written some snail mail to Chloe. If the two were truly that good of friends, you'd think she would have reached out, especially after Chloe's dad died. Because Chloe's dad died pretty soon, actually right before Max moved away. But Max was 13, and even now as an 18-year-old, it's clear she is exactly that, a child. Maybe legally an adult, but emotionally very much a child, so she responds like one. Max's fatal flaw, or her deadly sin, if you will, is sloth. She's often too apathetic or lazy or slow to react to things around her, which later in the game she can avert by using her rewind power. It's even evidenced in her room, like she is just such a slob.
Yeah. This is part of Max's character development in this game, learning to be confident and self assured, something that Chloe has in spades. In fact, Chloe's fatal flaw is her brash behavior, her recklessness. She often acts without thinking, which translates to her either almost dying or, in some cases, actually dying in the game, where Max has to rewind time to save her yet again. Chloe and Max are foils to one another, which makes their friendship and possible romance a straight play of the opposites attract trope. Or is that gay play? Because it's not straight play. You get what I'm saying. It's not inverted, subverted, or otherwise play with. Chloe is outgoing, rash, extroverted, and comes from a working class family. Max is a wallflower and timid, introverted, and comes from a well off family. They are truly opposites. So the main game's mystery is not where did Max's timey-wimey powers come from? No. It's a where did Chloe's former best friend, maybe lover, go? Rachel Amber, the girl who is whispered about all over campus and has got missing persons posters up all over the school, has been gone without a trace for the past 6 months.
Hey, give me that!
Sorry, I wasn't trying to be nosy. Obviously, she was a good friend.
It's putting it mildly.
So, who is she? Do you mind talking about her?
Rachel Amber. She was my angel. After my dad died and you moved, I felt abandoned. Rachel saved my life.
Man, I had no idea.
Well, you never made much effort to find out. I was 14. We were best friends.
I never forgot, even if I was an asshole and didn't keep in touch. But you had Rachel.
Rachel had my back. We were gonna kick the world's ass.
The loss of Rachel is one loss too many for Chloe. I cannot read today. After Max left for Seattle and Chloe's mom remarried step-douche, Chloe started to get more and more rebellious. She started hanging around a bad crowd, started doing some drugs, ran away from home often, and she made the junkyard in the woods her home away from hell, as she called it. Her physical appearance shifted to reflect her inner emotional turmoil as well. In the game's prequel, called Before the Storm, we play as 16-year-old Chloe, who does not have dyed blue hair, piercings, or tattoos yet. She eventually gets kicked out of Blackwell Academy. Her student file reveals an impressive 1.7 GPA, and her plan shifts to running away to LA with Rachel. But that never got to happen. Rachel goes missing, and then Chloe is consumed with trying to find her when Max conveniently returns to Arcadia Bay. Chloe saves Max from one of Nathan's public attacks. He's like, oh, he does that a lot. Max realizes it's her old friend, and right after the clip we played, before that scene ends, she realizes her precious Polaroid has broken. So Chloe offers up David's very well-organized set of tools located in the garage of her house to fix it.
This game does have. Ugh. Now you're starting to infect me. This game does have some choices involved, but not too many of them will directly influence a potential romance between Max and Chloe, although they will affect the status and emotional state of the other characters. The first choice you make that will influence Max's relationship with Chloe takes place at her house after Max has repaired her camera. Stepdick David has returned and apparently doesn't allow wayfish hipsters with a penchant for analog photography over at his house. So Max has to hide. Oh, and he can smell the joint that Chloe had just been smoking. There are 4 choices. You cannot hide and take the blame, or you cannot hide and then come out and blame Chloe, or you can hide and then step in between the argument, or you can hide and stay hidden. The blame part is the blame for who was smoking the joint. And if Max blames Chloe for the joint, or stays hidden in the closet and doesn't step into the argument, David slaps Chloe. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for how abusive this man is.
Yeah, no matter what option you choose here, Chloe will take Max to the lighthouse after this. I am of the opinion that Max should do whatever it takes to be loyal to Chloe, because otherwise she literally has no one who looks out for her. Like, her mom is always working and makes excuses for David. David is just, ugh, like domineering. Her best friend left her. Her other best friend slash kind of girlfriend is probably dead, but she's missing. Like she's got nobody. At the lighthouse, Max can reveal something sinister about Chloe's house that she discovered when she was in the garage using David's tools to fix her Polaroid camera. David is monitoring the entire house with hidden security cameras. There is also a very well stocked gun safe in the garage with one gun notably missing. David is clearly disturbed. There is a whole conversation to be had about hypervigilant veterans due to PTSD and lack of supportive care. That is another day on another podcast. That's not this one. I'm not here to excuse this awful man from hitting a young woman and for emotionally abusing her, strong arming her, and constantly threatening her. Say what you will about Chloe and her behavior, but David is an adult man and should do better. At the lighthouse, right before Max has another vision of the giant tornado storm coming for Arcadia Bay, Chloe admits that she was, this is a trigger warning, drugged, nearly SA'd, and then tried to blackmail Nathan Prescott, who is the one who tried to do that to her. And that is what ultimately caused her untimely demise at the beginning of the game when Max discovered her rewind time power. And this is the end of episode 1. There's 5 episodes of this game, and each of them just get crazier.
Welcome to the crazy train. Oh, I don't like the fact that there are hidden cameras in this girl's house. I feel so bad for her.
No, and for context for the listener, Jen has not played this game. So for any listeners that haven't played this game and for Jen, let me just describe that one of these cameras is facing directly onto Joyce, Chloe's mom's bed, hidden in the closet. Like her closet doors have slats, so the lens is fitted through the slats directly onto her bed. Like, ew.
Wait, so the husband has a camera facing his own bed? Like, that's not the worst thing.
Yeah. No, but she doesn't know they're there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nobody knows that they're there except for him.
Okay. I would feel way ickier if it was facing Chloe's bed.
No, you can actually view the cameras in the garage because he has a bunch of monitors and they're all over the house. But the one that sticks out was the one by the bed because it was her side of the bed. And just, I don't know. I didn't like it. Or it was just her bed, I don't know. It just freaked me out. I don't know how she
Yeah.
didn't know it was there, to be real though. Like, because it was in the closet. If she opened the door, I'm sure she could have seen it. But it becomes a thing later when she discovers them. You can reveal them to her if you wish.
Mm.
So,
Okay, well, let's move on to episode 2 that called Out of Time, where Max and Chloe, sorry, where Max and Chloe go to get some breakfast from the Two Whale Diner, where Joyce, Chloe's mom, works as a waitress. Chloe is stoked that her friend has superpowers and requests that she prove to her that she can actually rewind time. This is done by incorrectly guessing what is in Chloe's pockets enough times until she's revealed everything that is actually in her pockets. Max then rewinds time and can correctly say what Chloe has in her pockets. Chloe also does not experience the time rewinds, so it just appears like Max has X ray vision or can predict the future. Now, when the two leave the diner, Kate will call Max's phone. You can choose to answer it or not, but you should answer it. Kate's life literally depends on it, even though Chloe will react badly to Max answering the phone.
yeah, she just got her best friend back and is clingy. obviously. She's very jealous of any other girl Max pays attention to. She has a very anxious attachment style because everyone she's ever loved has abandoned her, either by dying, moving away, going missing, or just ignoring her. Obviously, it's very hard for her to feel safe in a friendship if the attention is not solely on her, because if it wasn't, they all just left. Chloe has been left all alone. And something interesting that I found in my research was Chloe might have borderline personality disorder. It's something a lot of fans noticed, and some even hail her as a positive portrayal of the disorder. I do think a lot of her behaviors align with that diagnosis, but everyone is an individual, and I am not qualified to diagnose her, so I'm not certain. In any case, she has the engages in risky behaviors bit down pat because she stole one of David's guns from the gun safe and takes Max to the junkyard to shoot some bottles with it because that's fun. She even ends up accidentally shooting herself with it from a ricocheted bullet. Luckily, Max can rewind time. So, yet another moment where Max literally saves her life.
That is why you shoot BB guns at bottles, not real actual bullets. Oy, oy, oy. But guess who shows up suddenly? Frank, Arcadia Bay's drug dealer and dog lover, who Chloe owes money to. Chloe and Frank argue for a minute, and then Chloe notices Rachel's bracelet on Frank's wrist. This sends her into a spiral, and she demands he tell her where he got Rachel's bracelet. Frank pulls a knife, and Max slowly aims the gun at him. This altercation can go a few ways, all of which have consequences, of course. You can either try to shoot Frank or not shoot him. If you try to shoot him, the gun will click, clearly out of ammo, and Frank will become enraged. He will promise them that he won't forget Max tried to shoot him. But Chloe congratulates Max on being a badass. If Max doesn't try to shoot Frank, he will take the gun out of her hands, and Chloe will be unimpressed that Max, quote, lost their only form of protection.
Yes, yes, their only form of protection, even though her step douche is literally like head of security at their crazy school that is the center of the time space continuum, apparently. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, the two of them then proceed to go hang out on the train tracks because why not? And of course, Chloe gets her legs stuck in the tracks, and a train is fast approaching. It's almost like the universe is trying to course correct, because Chloe's supposed to be dead. And also, Chloe is a particularly risky person. You can choose to rescue Chloe here by using some wire cutters and redirecting the train by cutting the power to one set of tracks, or you can just go hammer time and destroy the tracks by pushing a big, heavy thing onto them. Screw the train, right? Save Chloe. The episode takes on a darker tone with this next segment. Ugh, here is a trigger warning for self harm because this episode ends with Max having an opportunity to save Kate from jumping off the roof of the girls' dormitory by using her rewind power. Although this outcome is heavily dependent on how you've treated Kate and some other choices involving Kate earlier in the game, like if you answered her phone call or not. Kate either survives or doesn't, but either way, she's not in the game after this. Let's hope you saved her, and she's recovering in the hospital for the rest of the game. Kate's whole character, for your context, Jen, and the listener if they haven't played this, she is extremely bullied by the group of mean girls at the school, and David also has been harassing her, thinking she had something to do with something. He's like conspiracy theory person. And she's just this really quiet, very religious girl who's trying to live her life. And she got pushed to this point. It's like a really horrible thing. And Max could be one of the only people who stands up for her, which is how you can talk her off the ledge, literally. So this game has a lot of really dark themes about like adolescence and coming of age.
Yeah. It also seems a little, you said course correction, and I'm like, oh, Final Destination, the video game.
No, for real though. Chloe is just like a walking disaster.
All right. And that wraps up episode 2. And we start out episode 3, Chaos Theory, uh, which opens up with Max and Chloe sneaking into Blackwell Academy's admin offices late at night. The goal is to find some evidence of Kate's harassment and Rachel's disappearance, with Chloe's intent on Nathan Prescott being to blame. Another choice pops up where Chloe will ask to steal money from the Disabled Students Fund in order to pay Frank back. Max can allow Chloe to take the money or not. This will prove very ironic in an upcoming segment of the game. After they leave the principal's office, the two make their way to the school's indoor swimming pool to have a little late night swim session.
Your power is changing everything, Max. Especially you. I can already tell. You're not so chicken shit anymore.
Thanks, girlfriend.
You know what I mean. You're becoming like this force of nature.
More like luck of nature. Come on, my power failed trying to rescue Kate. Maybe I'm just stumbling back and forth in time. For what reason?
You didn't stumble when you saved me, Max.
Thank God. But what if I had? What if? Kate didn't jump, but you would be dead.
So it's time to start moving forward in time. And we're obviously connected, since without me, you would have never discovered your power, right?
Absolutely. You make me feel like I know what I'm doing.
And you make me feel like I have a reason for still being in Arcadia Bay.
I hope so.
Stop being so goddamn humble. You're like the smartest, most talented person I've ever known.
More than Rachel Amber?
Dude, I'm not her groupie, okay? And I'm sure you have Blackwell bros all over you. Like Warren.
You're the bro killer. Tats and tood.
You did not just say that. Plus, I am not down with these Arcadia Bay hillbillies.
I don't blame you. Anyway, we have bigger fish to fry, right?
No worries. Once you get over yourself, you're gonna make the world bow.
As long as you're there with me.
Don't look so sad. I'm never leaving you.
I just realized I forgot to write fun facts, so I was trying to do that during this audio clip. Okay, wait, I have to cough. 1 second, let me mute. I'm sorry, I'm so sick. Okay. Okay, so this scene, it's kind of disheartening for me and for others that I found online who said something about it, that this scene full of great characterization and growth occurs when the two of them are semi-naked, swimming in just their bras and underwear. While the two of them are technically of age, Max is 18 and Chloe is 19, both are very scrawny and young looking, and this scene visually is just clearly meant to be fan service. Chloe is at the very least bisexual, but possibly homo-romantic/lesbian and gender fluid, according to her voice actress, the esteemed Ashley Birch. And Max as well could be played lesbian or bi, depending on if you've been pursuing Warren as well as Chloe. So this scene can kind of be read as exploitative for that, but it also feels realistic to the characters to just be impulsive and have some fun. I mean, it's up to you, I guess, how you view it. I would have preferred maybe this conversation to happen when they were wearing more clothes, but it's what we got. Blackwell Academy's security comes in, and the two have to sneak out, and they end up back at Chloe's house for a sleepover. It's cute. I love that they have a sleepover because these girls are technically adults, but they're holding on to their childhoods with each other, which I think is an important touchstone for them during this wild, dark, and unprecedented time in Arcadia Bay.
Yeah, I I did not think that they were of age when I watched this scene, and I was just like, "Yay, another couple of 12-year-olds are swimming in a pool." Yeah, like, I thought that this was a much younger romance than what it actually was. They don't visually look like, even, like, their faces look way too young, and that's, uh, was part of my problem with it. But
Especially Max, she's really young looking.
all right. And on that note, let's take a quick mid break where we can listen to some sponsors of the show, talk about some fun facts, and thank our patrons. Mid break dance. Woo! Fun fact, Chloe is voiced by Ashley Birch, who is also Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. And I know that we have said Ashley Birch, Ashley Birch, Ashley Birch like a million times on this show because she's in so many games that we play. Are you wanting me to read that one also? V is changing the script like in real
Sorry, I was
time.
adding more.
Okay. In the development diary, A New Beginning, Don't Nod Entertainment's developers state that every publisher except Square Enix asked them to make their protagonists male instead of female. Hmm. So did they end up going with Square Enix?
Sorry, I have so many tabs open. Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Square Enix published it, and
That that's very
now
interesting.
the most
Yeah.
recent Life is Strange game is made by Deck Nine Games, but this was the first. The first two I think made was made by Don't Nod, or just Life is Strange and Before the Storm, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's been taken over by a different um, studio now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that brings up a very interesting viewpoint because if if they had gone with a different publisher and they were just like, "Okay, let's just swap the genders out and make both of these characters boys." Do you think that we would have had the same love story? Do you think that that would have
Well,
played
that's the
off
thing
easier?
is the developers for this game actually said it's intentionally ambiguous whether or not Chloe and Max even have a relationship because all they really have are two kisses. They're not dating. This
Yeah.
is a stretch to be analyzing them, but there is clearly, I mean, not for us, like romantically, yeah, but we talk about relationships and they have a really good one and friendship wise in some ways, at least what we can see. But yeah, apparently they neither confirm nor deny that they actually can be a romance.
Mm,
The Don't Nod peeps.
okay.
Yeah. It's a
It
good
just
one. I had
it
something in my
is.
head, I totally forgot what I was gonna say, so it doesn't
You know,
matter.
I I know where my brain is right now, and it's actually in when you and I were interviewed by Meiji Moves on the Storm Sorcerer podcast, and he asked us, "Do you think your show would be as successful if it was two men analyzing video game romances?" And I was like, I think it would really take the right guys, like, it couldn't be some Chad bro from the gym, and no, you would need two very emotionally intelligent, uh, two very emotionally intelligent men who are very open with each other because you and I talk about all of our own personal shit, and, so I think it would feel like a very different game if this was two young boys growing up, being best friends, turning into possible lovers. Let's have a reboot, but male. I want to see it.
Well,
Change
Life is Strange
absolutely
2,
nothing.
you play as a boy, but I think you're with your little brother, and I haven't played it yet. I have it. I have to play it still, but I know you play as a boy or a young man. I'm not sure how old he is. He's a
No,
boy to me.
I want to see absolutely nothing change, but just swap genders in the first game
Mm,
and see if
mm,
it's still
mm.
if it's still people still like it.
Yeah, they could still keep Max too.
Yeah. Chloe could become Caleb. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough
Let's
on
do
that
it.
mid-break tangent. Thank you to all 128 people who have rated us on Spotify. Big love, major hearts to you guys. And I don't have any new reviews to read out this week because the most recent one from Stan is still the most recent one. Thank you, Stan, for the review last week. And of course, every week we shout out and thank the patrons Toasty and Apollo, Becky and Bat Knight, Cloudy and Win, Miss Theos and the Cups, Lizzie and Muffiny Cake. Big love, major hearts, all the fantastical feelings in the universe upon you. All of them.
Yes, thank you for your unending support. And now it is time. Are you ready, Jen, to wake up in Chloe's room after a night of teenage dirtbaggery?
Come with me Friday, don't say maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, it is Friday.
It
We are.
is. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby like you. Ooh. Oh yeah, dirtbag. Okay, now it's time to go. I can't sing at all with my voice right now, or just in general, but especially not now.
But still, you put down the reference, I picked it up, and then we both ran
Mhm.
with it. And that's what
Yeah,
counts.
it's a good song.
I'll add it to the karaoke list. But
Mhm.
not tomorrow, the following morning in the game, Max can snoop around Chloe's room in her usual quiet way, like including looking at her phone, which is kind of crossing a personal boundary, but I guess it's fine because we're playing a video game. If you've been supportive of Chloe, as in you didn't sell her out for the joint, you didn't answer Kate's phone call, you tried to shoot Frank, and you took the disabled student's fund money, well, her phone background will have changed from Rachel to a picture of Max. Max's clothes are still wet. So Chloe offers Max some of Rachel's clothes that she just happens to have in her room. Then this happens.
Put this on and let your inner punk rock girl come out. You can afford to take chances whenever and whatever you want to try. For example, I dare you to kiss me.
What?
I double dare you. Kiss me now. Damn, you're hardcore, Max. Now I can text Warren and tell him he doesn't stand a chance. Unless he's into girl-on-girl action.
You're such a dork.
Ew, gag, barf. No, hate that. Ah. Yeah, okay. So the cute little smooch that they share, kiss me on a dare. I get that. That's adorable. Love that. But oh, let's invite the guy so he can watch the girl on girl action. Fuck off. No, no, no. Not. Mm-mm.
I knew you weren't gonna like it because I don't like it either. Like, first of all, their behaviors together I think they're kinda still stuck in their preteen friendship before their 5
Yeah.
years has left. Because how much does that remind you of, like, a preteen's first kiss type of situation or, like, just being silly with your friend? You're like, "I double dog dare you. Oh, oh, wow," and then, like, you don't know how to act if someone actually does it, and you're like, "Oh, ha, ha," and, like, you make a joke out of it,
"Hey,
and that's what
Jay,
they're
show me your
doing.
boobs." Yeah, no,
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
or, like, spin the bottle or any of those, like, innocent level kid games. Well, not kid games, but exactly. It feels this relationship and the way that they interact feels a lot younger than what ages they are supposed to be portraying.
Mhm. I can't tell if it's because the last time they hung out was when they were 13 and 14 or if because I think it's because, I mean, Max seems to have had a fine and dandy life in those 5 years, but Chloe has lived through some shit, and I think she's just, like, grasping at a life raft with Max, like, "Oh, let me go back to the good old days," and so they kind of just bringing it out of each other in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that to a point, but I don't feel like the real switch ever hits. Like there's definitely times to be lighthearted and carefree and run around doing stupid shit. But then there's a point where, everything kind of catches up to you. Reality hits, or you still have that thing in the back of your mind going, no, you're a grown ass adult and you do have things going on. I don't know. I
Yeah. No, I know. I do think that this scene feels believable between the 2 best friends that are, starting to realize that there might be something more there. It's definitely a typical Chloe response to deflect away any chance of self-reflection or absorbing the moment, and instead redirects to making Warren jealous or just redirects to anything other than what's actually going on. Max kind of acts like it wasn't serious or real, but she really is just being her usual indecisive and anxious self. It's revealed in her diary that while she enjoyed the kiss, she still thinks Chloe will end up with Rachel anyway. While Chloe is jealous of anyone Max pays attention to besides her, Max is jealous of Rachel. Then Max has a chance to really disrupt the Price household. When they all go downstairs for some brekkie, Joyce gives Max a cute picture of her and Chloe as preteens making pancakes in that same kitchen. It was actually the same day that Chloe's dad died 5 years ago, that picture. David is there, and of course, he promptly starts an argument with Chloe because he can't help himself. Max can either side with her or with David, but why would you side with David? We don't side with David on this podcast. So Max exposes his creepy ass files on various students at Blackwell, his harassment and abuse of Kate, and his hidden cameras in the house. So Joyce kicks him out. Good for you, girl. About time.
Yay! Yay! Claps for kicking him out of the house.
I will say there is one timeline where he has a redeeming quality, but otherwise he's Garbo.
Ew. Okay, I don't even care.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It hasn't happened yet, so you have no context for that yet.
Okay, fine. We'll keep moving on then. The pair then head to Frank's RV to snoop around in the hunt for a lead on Rachel and discover that Rachel and Frank were actually lovers, which really hurts Chloe. I mean, Rachel basically lied to her and manipulated her. It even seems like she planned to leave Arcadia Bay and move to LA with Frank, not Chloe. Moving to LA with drug dealer Frank is probably not the best idea. Chloe freaks out and says everyone betrays her, including Max, and drops her off at Blackwell, pissed off. And she drives off before Max can barely even shut the car door. Max glances at the photo Joyce handed her earlier of her younger self and younger Chloe making those pancakes, and she discovers a new aspect of her time rewind power. She can now place herself in time based on a photograph, and she finds herself back in her 13-year-old body. Max realizes that this was the day that Chloe's dad died in the car accident, and she decides to intervene. She hides his car keys so he can't try to go pick his wife up from work. And it works. He lives. But Chloe is not the same Chloe.
And this is where it gets even crazier. When Max returns to the present day, first of all, let's just skip over the fact that she was like 18-year-old Max in 13-year-old Max's body for a minute. But when she comes back to the present day, she finds herself at Blackwell, strangely best friends with all the mean girls from the other timeline, like the people that have been making her life awful the whole time at school. She rushes to Chloe's house and is overjoyed to see her dad answer the door. It's clear from their conversation that even in this timeline, Max and Chloe have drifted apart in the last 5 years. But when Chloe's dad calls for Chloe and she comes to the door, she is in a wheelchair. She has a blue tracheotomy in her neck, a breathing tube. It's interesting that it's blue because blue is the color that represents Chloe. Her hair is blue, her eyes are blue. The butterfly Max takes a picture of in the bathroom before Chloe is shot is blue. And butterflies are also associated with her the same way does are associated with Max. She sees does everywhere, and butterflies are everywhere with Chloe. In mythology, butterflies are agents of change, but also symbolize immortality, something Chloe seems to have as long as Max is around. Most traditions see does as representations of new beginnings, tenderness tempered with strength. That fits Max very well. Max embraces her gentleness, especially in this episode of the game, where she spends the day with her friend that is not quite her friend, a version that might have existed if her dad had never died. Oop. And Jen had to get up for a second, so I'm just gonna distraction, talk random, don't know what to say. I think she's coming back soon. I think maybe. I don't know. Surprise, surprise. I can kind of hear her, but not really.
Yeah, I need a
Um,
minute.
oh, she needs a minute. Okay. Um, you guys can listen to me cough for a minute because I have plenty of those lined up. I am not doing good.
Okay, yep,
Oh,
no, we're good.
right.
Okay.
Sorry.
A version of her dad that never died. Okay, yep, good. Because her dad lived, he gave her a car for her 16th birthday, and she got into a car accident instead. It left her paralyzed from the neck down, and her body is now failing her as a 19-year-old. She is terminally ill because the machines used to keep her body alive, to keep her breathing, are not working anymore. Her medical costs have also devastated the family's financial situation. After a day of hanging out with her best friend and a night of watching Blade Runner, Max wakes up, having fallen asleep leaning onto Chloe's bed. Chloe appears to not have slept at all. Trigger warning again for self-harm here. Chloe asks Max to crank up the morphine drip so that way she can just gently stop existing. Her life is agony, and the toll she thinks she takes on her family is too much for her conscience to bear now. Max can reluctantly agree or disagree, but either way, this is a very hard scene to watch and play. It shows Max the devastating effects of messing with time and how the outcome can't be controlled or even foreseen.
Chloe, you're alive. Yes.
Whoa, whoa, down, Max. You get one kiss, now you're all over me?
I'm just. I'm so glad you're here.
You sound high, but thanks for the morning grope. Since we were up all night playing CSI Arcadia Bay, I was still spaced out here trying to put all this info together. Max, did you forget we've gone over this? I hope you weren't messing around with time while I was sleeping.
Not anymore. I'm just spaced out too. Welcome back to the real world, Max.
Just really quick, I always think it's funny how she looks like she's supposed to listen to all this punk music, but she never does in the game. She's always listening to this gentle indie music, which I think is like a way to show that inside she's not quite as tough as she likes to appear.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Um,
in high school, I wore all black with,
so
spikes
did I.
and like everything, but I was still listening to Britney. Like,
So did I. I'm wearing black right now. I am a baby. It is all I'm a chihuahua with a loud bark. That is me, you
we
know?
have Psyduck.
Yay, Psyduck. I am extremely not tough. I think that's like a theme though. The people who look like they're gonna be the most edgy and hard are actually just the sweetest. But
No, no, I'll
luckily,
bust your fucking face. No.
Okay, back to the episode. Jen made me promise before this episode not to tangent so much because we're both really sleepy, so trying not to, but it's hard. Um,
So hard.
okay. Okay,
Sorry.
pretend the clip just ended. Okay. Luckily, Max still had that photo of their younger selves making pancakes, so she's able to return to that moment in time and undo what she tried to undo in the first place. She decides to do nothing, to not intervene, and to let Chloe's dad die again, or to let the natural order of things return. Except, is it? Which one is the real world? This Chloe is the Chloe that should have died back in the bathroom at the very beginning. The Chloe whose very existence is enough to destroy the town with a violent super tornado. Me personally, I'm kind of in the Rick Sanchez camp of just putting all that time travel shit up on a shelf in the garage and just not messing with it. But if you did manage to save Kate, this is where we get to go next. Go visit her in the hospital. If not, Chloe and Max head straight for Blackwell, where they run into Mr. Jefferson. Max's apparently hot old hipster photography teacher. And he invites them to the end of the world party. We haven't really mentioned it in this episode because, there's just a lot to talk about with this game. But there continues to be crazy climate shit going on. The very first clip we played mentioned snow and 80 degrees. Now we've seen like dead whales popping up on the beach. There was an eclipse. There's even two moons at one point in the sky. Like, it's crazy. But for me, this is where I first got major bad vibes from Mr. Jefferson, though. Although I always found him like too cool for school. Like he tried too hard. I'm just calling it here. He's a bad egg.
Hmm. Hmm. Now the girls break into Nathan's room to find evidence, and Nathan catches them. And there's another altercation where Warren intervenes. He is a lost attack puppy, apparently. They then head to the beach to get the codes from Frank's account book. See, he is a very organized drug dealer who assigns all his regulars a unique code. And the girls will use the codes to track down who bought what drug. Wait, oh. hold on. And the girls will use the codes to track down who bought what to drug Rachel, to drug Chloe, and any other evidence that might figure out from the codes. Anyways, this next conversation with Frank is rather complicated and based on the previous interactions with him, but essentially, Chloe can either shoot and kill both Frank and his dog, merely wounding him, or no one can get hurt, and Frank instead becomes an ally in search for Rachel. This is obviously the best outcome out of those three, but regardless of the outcome, the two head to an old barn owned by the Prescotts that is indicated in Frank's book. They find an underground bunker that is clearly a torture chamber. And there are meticulously kept files on the victims. Chloe finds a file on Rachel.
Yeah. It's not good. Unfortunately, in this game, there's no happy ending for Rachel. She's been missing for 6 months because she's been dead for 6 months. Chloe recognizes the location in one of the photos in the file on Rachel, and the two race to the junkyard, digging desperately with their hands in the dirt until they find Rachel's body. It's a very dark moment for Chloe. She loved Rachel, and for Max because she's so upset for her friend. They start to go to the end of the world party to find and confront Nathan, who they believe is Rachel's killer. I mean, the evidence does seem to point that way. However, they get a text, supposedly from Nathan, saying he got rid of all the evidence of Rachel's murder. So they go back to the junkyard. But it was a trap. Someone sticks Max with a syringe, clearly filled with a sedative. And as she's passing out, she sees Chloe. I'm going to die. I can't talk.
We
She
see
sees.
V coughing and dying.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Someone sticks Max with a syringe, clearly filled with a sedative. And as she is passing out, she sees Chloe get shot and killed. And the shooter is Mr. Jefferson. Never saw that coming. And Max is unable to use her rewind, wow, at this time because of being sedated. And episode 4 ends. And I feel like we're speeding through this, but man, you just got to play this game if you haven't played this game. There's just a lot going on.
Well, I mean, the fact that like each episode is like a really long portion, it's a portion of the game. So we're trying to get through so many different parts of one of the game. I don't know. So it does seem like we're speeding through it, but also really slow. Okay, let's keep going. When she awakens, she is back in that underground bunker, tied to a chair. This is the start of episode 5, Polarized. And Mr. Jefferson is monologuing like all villains do. Max uses the selfie she took all the way back on that first playable school day in the game. Oh, okay. Max uses the selfie she took all the way back on that first playable school day in the game and creates an alternate timeline where she warns David, Chloe's super paranoid stepdouche, about Mr. Jefferson being a serial killer. This Max saves Chloe yet again from being shot in the junkyard and enters the photo contest that Mr. Jefferson has been preaching about the whole game. She wins it, ending up in San Francisco at an art gallery. But while on the phone with Chloe, she hears her die in the super tornado. Because the universe wants Chloe to die. So Max ends up back in the dark room, the underground bunker. But this time, David can save her. Chloe is still dead though. In this timeline, having been shot in the junkyard. I know. It's complicated.
It's like a lot. It's just this is what happens with time skipping and rewinding. It always gets very, very confusing. But not to worry, thanks to Max's unending selfie obsession, she has yet another photograph she can use to return to a time right before Chloe's untimely demise in the junkyard. So once she is set free from the dark room by David, who has come to rescue her, but Chloe is still dead in this timeline, she goes to the Two Whale Diner to meet up with Warren, who still holds a candle for her in all the timelines, even though he doesn't stand a chance unless you encouraged it, in which case, I guess he does stand a chance. And takes the selfie they took together at the end of the world party right before heading to the junkyard. So Max goes back in time to right before at the party, and Chloe is still alive again. Still alive again? I'm hurting my own brain. Our new drinking game is to drink a shot every time Chloe is alive when she's supposed to be dead, which is like just constantly drinking through this entire game.
I'm
This
already
Max,
tired. If I start taking shots, I'm legit gonna pass out.
yeah, just pass out. Yeah, me too. I might just straight up lose my entire voice rather than just have the dregs of what it is right now. Or maybe it'll help my voice. I don't really know. I don't have any alcohol right now, though. I need to go shopping. Anyway, this Max, the one that just came through the photograph and is back with Chloe, is much more aware now of the dangers of Mr. Jefferson and her own limitations. So she goes to David instead of springing the trap at the junkyard this time, and Mr. Jefferson is arrested. Yay, there is justice. The two head to Chloe's house to await the storm because that's still happening.
Except all this timeline jumping has Max totally messed up, along with me. She awakens at the beach, and Chloe says, "Ah, the real Max is back." That just leads me to believe that Chloe can tell when Max is time traveling and not the real Max is just some uncanny valley body on autopilot. Creepy. The storm is about to hit now, and from her vision, Max knows that they will be safe from the storm at the lighthouse. And on the way there, Max falls into some kind of time jumper nightmare. It's basically all of her insecurities and fears coming at her. And she has to witness things like Chloe berating her for never reaching out after she moved, or watching Chloe hook up with random people to play upon Max's insecurities about being with her. All of it is distorted versions of things that have happened or extreme interpretations of these things. None of it is reality, just highlighting how much of our perception of both reality and ourselves can influence the way that we experience things. And it makes your brain hurt.
Yeah, it's like this whole like level where you're hiding and running through these traps. It's like the abyss around you and just like scary, exaggerated features of the school and like characters that you're scared of, like David and Nathan hunting you, and Chloe not being exactly the Chloe that you know, but worse, and making Max feel bad. And it's just this whole thing. It's a nightmare. But she's like legit passed out, and Chloe has carried her to the lighthouse while she's been passed out. And now we are at the end of the final episode of this game. The girls stand at the edge of the cliff by the lighthouse, watching helplessly as this impossibly sized, almost mystical tornado spins closer and closer to their little town by the bay. Chloe has realized something that Max is staunchly avoiding thinking about. And she's realized that the choice Max is left with is save the town or save Chloe. Chloe wants Max to choose the town, saying tearfully that, quote, her mom doesn't deserve to die in some fucking diner, not after everything she's been through. And yeah, kind of. No one deserves to die in this storm, except for maybe Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah, probably. I will also say that there is a huge storm going on in this audio clip. So the background of windfall and rain and just tornado noise in general makes it difficult to hear. But here we go.
There's so many more people in Arcadia Bay who should live. Way more than me. Don't say that. I won't trade you. You're not trading me. Maybe you've just been delaying my real destiny. Look at how many times I've almost died or actually died around you. Look at what's happened in Arcadia Bay ever since you first saved me. I know I've been selfish, but for once, I think I should accept my fate. Our fate, Chloe. Max, you finally came back to me this week, and you did nothing but show me your love and friendship. You made me smile and laugh like I haven't done in years. Wherever I end up after this, in whatever reality, all those moments between us were real, and they'll always be ours. No matter what you choose, I know you'll make the right decision.
Chloe, I can't make this choice.
No, Max. You're the only one who can.
And right after that line is said, you are presented with the choice. Save Chloe or save the town. Me personally, I always save Chloe. Although you do find out in Life is Strange 2 that her mom does indeed die in that diner if you don't save the town. But Max and Chloe are still together, and they even have a pretty good relationship with David after that. If you do choose to save the town, you'll end up traveling back in time through that photo of the blue butterfly and sit helplessly as you hear Chloe get shot in that bathroom. If you chose the town to be destroyed and Chloe is saved, Max and Chloe drive out of the town after the storm passes, finally leaving for good. It's brutal either way. Like, if Chloe dies, you have to sit through her funeral, and a butterfly lands on her casket, and it's just very emotional. But it's also emotional to see the two of them drive through the ruins of their town with like literal huge whale bodies like on some buildings because like the tornadoes brought a bunch of sea creatures to land. Also, it's horrible either way.
Yeah. I don't know if I could sacrifice the many for the one. I think that I would have to play through the whole game and really get there to that point to see how I would make the decision. Uh, but Final Destination is a movie series for a reason. Once you fuck with the divine plan and you take somebody out of it that shouldn't be alive, and yet they're here, wibbly wobbly time stuff's gonna happen. Like that's the butterfly effect. That's the everything. And so I don't know. I
That's something I thought. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go for it.
I was just gonna say, like, something I never understood about this game, which, I mean, I guess someone could make arguments for different ways of interpreting it, but I never understood why the entire town was equal to Chloe dying. Like, if the universe is trying to. Sorry, my rabbit is bullying my cat. Hey, leave him alone. Okay. I might have to separate the two of them. Okay, they're good. Anyway, I never understood why, like, if the universe is trying to balance itself out, why is the entire town being destroyed equal to one girl being killed?
Well, how
You
many
know?
times did Chloe not die?
Well, technically, only once to start the storm because the storm was coming. Well, see, I don't really know because Max at the very beginning of the game has the vision. Like the game opens to her having the vision of the storm coming. And that
Mhm.
was before she discovered she could rewind time. It was right before, like the class, she's in the photography class and she ends the class and goes into the bathroom. And that's when Chloe gets shot. And that's when she discovers she can rewind time. So I guess you could argue that the storm was going to come either way because she could rewind time after she had that vision, but before Chloe died, allegedly. Hey, okay, hold on. You can
Yeah.
continue a thought that I
So,
mute. My
I
rabbit's
think
being a douche.
I think if the storm was coming before any of this started, maybe it would have just been a storm, you know? Tornadoes do happen in Oregon. Massive wind and rainstorms freaking happen. And so maybe it would have still been a super tornado, but not anything that would have taken out the entire town. And it wouldn't have been as bad.
I think you're probably right about that. Like maybe it would have just been a tornado because she does say Oregon gets 5 tornadoes every 20 years, apparently. I mean, you can confirm or deny if that's true. Like in
I
the last 20
know
years,
of I know of 2 that have been in my county in the last
where they,
10, 15 years.
yeah. So, I mean, that could have happened, but I think the proof of it being worse for her every choice she makes is like the more she uses it, not only is the more times Chloe is almost dying or getting into situations where she almost dies or does die and she actually does have to rewind, but also like the environment is crazier. Like I said,
Mhm.
there is the two moons, like when they're going into the party, there's literally two moons in the sky. There's like a crazy eclipse. There's dead whales everywhere, which no one explains that. I don't know how that's like a
Why did the
weather
poor whales
phenomenon.
have to die? Other than,
I don't
"Oh,
know.
is it because the name of the diner that the mom works at?"
Sorry. Yeah, there's no two whales in the bay anymore because they're all dead. But I don't really know. Like Paulo has mentioned to me in Discord chats and now in our comments that like they expand a lot of things, both the romance and Max's powers in the comics, but like
Mm.
we're just looking at the games. I've never read the comics, so I can't comment on it. But yeah, it's I mean, I still as far as their relationship goes, do you think that they are an item or just really good friends?
I don't know, I definitely think that there's more to it than what we can really see, and I think that if you do choose to save Chloe, they will be together. I can clearly see that. Um, I do think that, the fact that they have the core relationship to begin with, I am a huge fan of building up a core friendship first and then branching out into lovers after it. You know, even if it's like, yeah, we snuck a kiss in middle school and then never really talked about it again until like after high school, and then kind of seeing your person in a different light and being like, oh, wow, yeah, hi. Why have I never seen you before? Like I love that. And so I think that they are starting that in this video game. And maybe it reading the comments, it will end up being like that. But I definitely think that there is a great foundation to a romance here. And if not, there's a foundation to a really trauma bonded friendship.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think one of my main reasons why I like the two of them together, even though I like Chloe more than Max, I don't know if it's like my affinity for Ashley Birch or if it's just like Max so much of the time she annoys me because of how timid and like wallflowery she is. because
Mm.
that's not me. Even though I'm introverted, I'm not like that. I'm like, come on, girl, get a backbone. We do see her get a backbone throughout this game. Actually, she ends up being a lot more firm. But something that my gosh, my voice. I'm sorry. Something that I really admire about the two of them, and I think is a really important thing for young players. I don't know how young you would be playing this game because it is kind of dark, to say the least. But I think it's still a really important thing to show is that the two of them either do or have opportunities to choose to stand up for people really well. Like
Mm.
they're they speak up about unfairness that they see around them all the time. And I think that's a really good lesson for anybody to like speak up when you see something. Don't be a bystander. They it shows how it actually does have an effect. Like with Kate, you could save her life if you've spoken up for her.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Hmm. All right, I think it's time to wrap it up for the night before your voice completely dies.
Yeah, it's just cough, man. I think I have a sinus infection. I don't know.
Oh, don't get that. That's not fun.
It's
Go get
not been fun.
antibiotics. All right. Now, we will break away from the teenage romance next week with our Patreon chat, where the leading topic right now is what game doesn't have romance but should? So I'm excited for that one next week. So come join us if you can. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a rating and review on iTunes or on that new Spotify feature and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can now find me on the Cyberpunk Lorecast with my co-hosty Toasty, where we explore the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and the news of the future for all things cyberpunk. And of course, in our Two Girls One Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. Come give us a follow on all the social medias and on patreon.com/2girls1ship. Links to those are in the description.
I am on the Robots Radio Discord as well, and on our own Two Girls, One Ship Discord server, where we nerd out on all our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to. Sorry, I was checking my Audacity because it is so quiet. Why did I not look at this earlier? Why is it doing that? Anyway, be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening, and remember that beauty is in the eye of the controller.
Bam.
Yay. Well, if your Audacity is being glitchy and mine seems to only want to record me at like baby whisper levels,
That was
we might
mine.
just.
It like I clicked on it and it was at recording level like 20% and everything looks so quiet.
That's
And
disgusting. I
it
hate
did it
that.
like I set it intentionally at like 55% when we started and it just auto adjusted itself down for some reason. I don't know why it does
Fun.
that now. Ever since the like last couple updates, it's something changed about it and now it just auto adjusts even if I manually put a selection. I don't get it.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Uh,
Also, I
so
agree with you, Apollo, about
what I
Horizon. I don't know what to pick now.
what I'll probably
Sorry.
end up doing is just using the Meets audio then.
No, I mean like I can probably amplify it enough because it doesn't look so quiet that it won't be worth something, but it's
Okay.
still pretty quiet. I'll just like compress and do all the things.
Do all the things and then send it to me and then I
Oh,
will
right, I
work
gotta
on
send it
it.
to you.
That's right.
I forgot. Oh, hi, my beautiful bear. Oh, oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Uh,
Well, Thank you, stream. You're the best.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
And as for
Thanks
next
for
week,
sticking.
I have a couple of ideas for games that should have romance in it. So just got to get out there and expand your brain. Think of other games that you've played. Think of older games that you've played. Maybe you want romance in Spyro. Maybe you want romance options in,
I'm gonna
well,
have to think about it. I
yeah,
don't want to give away my choice right now.
yeah. I know who I'm going with. I just hope nobody else picks it. All
Let's see.
right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Like I gotta end the stream. That's the only way to make it stop. Jesus. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Uh,